What's up, guys? It's Nomad here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a deck profile of Bird Up. So just to note, back-to-back locals, I did end up going 3-1, both locals. The first locals I lost to Invoke Shadal, and the second one I lost to Flunderies. Both actually really were determined, simply just a lot stronger draws. I did lose a die roll to both games that I lost over the course of 2 tournaments. So I made top 4 both times. I did change a little bit from the deck between the first and second time. I do believe this deck has the highest ceiling of any deck this format. I believe it can play through the most hand traps. It has an out in deck to cards like evenly matched Dark Ruler and Droplet. Oath is just an incredible card. The boards you make are practically like an FTK. But that's basically what I have to say. Other than that, we're going to get right into it, and I'm going to explain a lot of the choices, a lot of my different theory crafting of the deck. So I hope you guys enjoy. All right, so starting off, we have the 3 Warbler. So this is absolutely the card you want to see. It's the best one. You just special if you control no monsters on your zones. Summon it, and then you can just summon a Lyrilusc from hand or graveyard. The important part about this card is it allows you to go like absolutely full combo, and it's the best one to draw with like Cobalt or with Wagtail. Next we play 3 of the Cobalt. This card's actually insane. It searches you any bird, and it also searches Nerval, which Nerval is absolutely cracked in this deck. So I'll kind of run through some combos, things like that. Explain a little bit more of this deck than, the average deck profile. Then we play 2 Barrel Canary. So I have no problem with people playing a higher bird count, but in my deck, I personally wanted to fit a lot of good cards that were generic. So I only had space for these, and I feel like this is the second best one you want to draw with birds, but the fact that it locks you in XYZs does limit your turn, especially when you get, hit with lots of hand traps like Droll and things like that. Then we play 2 Wagtail. This card is like debatable to go to 1, like almost. The weirdest hands with this deck are either when you draw all Tri-Brigades, or you get to a situation where you draw like Cobalt and this with like no way to get them out of your hand. And lastly, we play 1 Sapphire. This card could go to 2. It does nothing by itself, which is why I don't want to play more than any. The effect when you make an XYZ with it to attach one from grave is actually really, really relevant, and it comes up more than you think. So I do think for that reason, I would almost want to bump this to 2. But this card is really, really good. It helps you play through a lot, and like you always want to search the Nerval first with your Recital, but then this comes up afterwards, and then this is what allows you to go full combo. So that's going to be it for all the bird cards. Next we have 3 Fractal. That's for the Tri-Brigades, 3 Nerval. I wouldn't play anything less than this ratio of these Tri-Brigades because they're absolutely insane. Like Nerval is hands down probably the second best card in the deck. And then we play the 1 Kit. You need this for Oath. It's all right. Like drawing, it's not that bad, but you mainly want to search it. And then the Karis, and you need this so you can search. But like one of each of these is perfect. And then we play the Avion. And then we play Dinotherium for Small World. This card is just like the best bridge. If you've seen the guy who won the LCS, he played this. So the first week I didn't play Small World or this, but then I put them in and did wonders. Like, I mean, I was able to push through so much, search whatever I needed, basically fix my hand. I mean, this card's insane. And then we play these for hand traps. We play 3 Nib to work with the Dinotherium, and then we also play 3 Droll. So Droll is actually another bridge for Small World because it's a wind and it's a level 1. So a lot of times if this is in your hand instead, you can banish this, banish the Dyna, and then from there you can go into any Tri-Brigade, any bird. So that comes up a lot. Yeah, it's just another great target for Small World. And the fact that it's wind just matters so much, and the level 1 stat, of course. But yeah, I think playing this is really good in this deck, simply because you can also normal summon this going first if you have a hand that calls for that. It's a very, very high impact hand trap against a lot of decks, and the fact it works with Small World, it's just great in this variant, and I really recommend if you're on Small World right now that you test this. And then on the spells, play 3 Bird Call. That's standard. The 3 Small World, this card's absolutely cracked. The -1 going second is pretty annoying, I won't lie. But just the fact that you can grab like literally anything your deck needs makes this so much insane. It's basically like you're playing 6 copies of Bird Call or an additional 3 copies of Bird Call that also say search Tri-Brigades. It's insane. And then we play 3 Droplet, because board breaking cards are still important. Like, there's a lot of decks and a lot of really annoying cards. And like this just trades so well in this deck. Like you can send like a Tenki, you can send any of your spells. Like this just does so much. Like this card's amazing. Like I definitely think that in a format where all decks were kind of like build a board, we'd want to play Dark Ruler, but this is just like so good in this deck. And actually the effect to like half attacks, like I've used this like when I go first, just setting this and like they try to like crash into something, and just activating this is nuts. Like, because then they like almost auto lose at that point. Because if they like make a threat and they expect you to use like one of your bounces or anything like that, and they go to attack and you just do this and you still have your bounce and they lost a card, like you just win. And then we play Tenki, of course, Called By, and then Cosmic Cyclone. So the one Cosmic, again, from the LCS, shout out to, I forget his name, but the guy who got first. This is like your out to mine, which a lot of players at my locals are on, like Flunder, and then there's a lot of people playing Invoke Shaddoll, and then also, of course, people who play mine. So this is just a good out. It's better going second. You could argue to play Order, but like I said, this is just, in general, better going second, and it hits like continuous annoying floodgates and things like that. And then we play the Oath. Oath is an insane card. Next, we'll go extra deck. So we play 2 Recital, 1 Nightingale, 1 Robin. So these are like your Lyrilusc XYZs. All of these cards function amazing. This card got summoned a lot this week. Not so much the first time I played the deck, but this week, like this card put in so much work, allowing me to Zeus my opponent through like full boards and through like Lancias and Drolls and stuff like that. Card's just nuts. And then we play the Utopic Future package. Again, one of the best boss monsters in the game. You like have to play this. The effect to steal can actually come up to like OTK your opponent, like because this deck just does that. You just OTK out of nowhere in like some really, really random, awkward ways. And then we play the Downer. Like you have to play this in this deck because making a 4 material Zeus, like the 2 material is like, okay, we cleared the board, but like when you have a 4 material Zeus, it just like ensures that you win that game. Like, a lot of times, like, I'll end up having, I'll nuke my opponent's board, have 2 materials left on this, and I'll have, like, a Droplet in hand, and I can set that. Or even, like, if you can only make a 2 material Zeus, and they, like, you know, imper me, you can always chain the Droplet, send this, and then you just still wipe the board. So, like, Zeus has so much synergy with Droplet in this deck. And then just, like, having the 4 materials, just, it's just game. You just, like, win almost every time. Like, I don't think there's a game that I've made a 4 material Zeus that I lost. And then for Tri-Brigades, we play the Ferrijit and 2 Omen. Because I'm on Oath, you're always summoning one of these turn 1. And then, so that's why we play the second, just to out, like, annoying cards. So I think that if you're going to play the Oath, which if you're playing this deck, you should definitely be on 2 of this. And then, so there's a question that's probably going to come up after I show these last 2 cards. So you play Almirage. There's a lot of situations where, like, you have to link away a Tri-Brigade if you get, like, hand trapped to death. And, like, it's the only thing that can get you to, like, Karis to, like, keep going. Harpy Conductor, this card is, like, it just helps you make some more. Like, if you only have Tri-Brigades, like, this card makes some more. Because you just, like, Fractal, and then you send the Nerval, and then you grab Kit, and you summon Kit, and you banish 2, summon this out, and then you have some more right there. So, like, I recommend playing this card, testing it out. Yeah, it's just, it comes up more often than another card that a lot of people are going to talk about. We play the Ancient Warrior Link, and then lastly, Simorgh. So the other card I was talking about would be Appaloosa. Now, I have tested this card a lot, and I've only made it, like, a couple times compared to how many situations where, like, these cards saved my ass compared to, like, Appaloosa. Like, I feel like this deck can just, like, do stuff and like make a board. Like my thing with this deck is like I always want to play. I don't want to like I want to be able to always play. I don't want to half-ass play the game or like, okay, I'm in an awkward situation, so I make an Appo. Like, okay, like, if the Appo was there and it could have saved me a game, okay, it could have saved me a game. But more often than not, like, these are going to help you, like, actually stay in the game more than this will. So that's just my reasoning behind that. No offense taken if you guys choose Appaloosa or you think it's better. Like, I'm not denying that logic. But I'm just saying, in my personal testing and experience, those cards have saved my ass a lot more. Lastly, we play 3 Dark Ruler for the side, 3 Tactics. This card's bonkers, like, because we're not playing, like, Prosperity. So, like, this card just being able to draw is so free when you get, like, hit with, like, Lancia or, like, Nib, things like that. Like, this card's nuts. Or, like, even against decks where, like, you're going second and you have to, like, try to break their board. Like, this card just does it. Then one of the most broken trap cards ever printed. This card's insane. Funny story with the Conductor, you can actually make this, and then you can activate this from your hand into a board. So that's kind of a neat interaction. But other than that, like, just, like, going first, this lingering effect is just crazy. Like, I side these in going first all the time, and it just wins games if you resolve. And then we play 2 Cosmic, 2 Twin, and Reboot for back removal. Like, I literally own 1 copy of Lightning Storm, and most of the cards I want to hit are Floodgates with these. Plus, like, pitching cards to the graveyard isn't necessarily bad. Like, if you pitch a Cobalt and have, like, your Warbler in hand, like, this just does the job. Like, you still aren't losing any cards, technically. And then the Cosmics, I mean, you hit 1-for-1s, annoying Floodgates. And then we play Dark Simorgh. I played against Geist, and, like, I made my board and just summoned this. I Tacticsed his hand. So he Imperm multi-fakered, and then he, like, bounced my guy before I made Future. And then I made my board. I activated Tactics, ripped the Faker out of his hand, seen that he had, like, all traps, end phase summoned this, and then he just couldn't set his hand, so he literally couldn't play any card in his hand, and then passed back to me, I summon Avian game. Like, you just win. So yeah, that's why I play that. But yeah, guys, that's the entire deck.